Figuring out if a deal actually works shouldn't take so much time and a bunch of guesswork, especially when speed to deal matters so much in real estate. PropStream has always been built around the idea that you need to search for the right properties, identify the real opportunities, and connect with the people behind them. Let me show you how PropStream's new Intelligence Assistant, along with two brand new calculators, helps you go from looking at a property to actually understanding it without ever leaving the page. All right, once we're inside of PropStream, we're gonna go ahead and navigate over to the details page for this particular property as an example. We'll click on the details page, and this is what you're all used to seeing with regard to the property details for this particular property. Property characteristics, of course, comps details, MLS details when available, tax information, mortgage and transaction history. And ordinarily we'd go through here and comb through all the information about this property. Now with the launch of our new PropStream Intelligence Assistant, which is located down here at the bottom right, I'll go ahead and expand that. And now you're greeted with our multilingual chat assistant, which essentially is your real estate assistant that's going to help you analyze this particular property, not only with regard to its property details, but any potential investment strategy you may have, whether it's a fix and flip or a long-term hold. We'll be able to analyze it through this chat. This chat now is, like I said, multilingual, so you're able to speak to it in any language of your choice. You can expand the window to suit your size and then begin having a conversation. Now, if you don't have any specific questions right off the bat as you're getting used to using this assistant, you are also prompted with some samples here. And we'll go ahead and use one of these as an example. This first one says, is this a good rental investment? So let's check it out. Is this a good rental investment? Now, what our new intelligence assistant is doing, it's combing through all the data that's available for this particular property to give you a very clear and concise answer as to where the strengths lie, potential things to look out for, and a final analysis as to the initial question, which is, was this a good rental investment? Now you can ask it follow-up questions on this particular question, or you can even ask it very simple questions. Maybe I just had a simple question like, what are the property taxes? And again, because it has access to all that data, it's going to be able to quickly pull up the information and give you the history on the taxes. Now, quick note for properties that are in non-disclosure states, just be aware that the assistant automatically prioritizes MLS comps over public record data. Now, speaking of comps, let's ask it one final question. What are the best comps? And it's going to go ahead and start giving you the analysis that it has based on the comps that are available for this property. So of course, it's going to look at similar properties in the area that recently sold, that have similar characteristics, et cetera, and then obviously gives you a summary of key takeaways and things to note, right? Now, what's wonderful about this is once you've pulled up these comps and you want to do a further analysis, just click on the Open Comparables tab. And we'll go ahead and close this window for now. Although before I close it, I do want to show you that when you are finished with this chat, but you want to save it, you have a print button here at the top right, where you can print out a record of this conversation. For now, we'll go ahead and close it. And that brought us to the comps tab of the property details page, where we can further refine the analysis of this particular property, changing certain characteristics to suit our analysis that we want to do. Speaking of analysis, let's move up to the two new exciting calculators that we have available for you, which live here inside of the tools section. So when we click on tools, we now have the two new calculators available to us, Rental ROI Calculator and a fix and flip analyzer. Both of these are new. Let's start with the first one, Rental ROI Calculator, which again is an analysis that's specifically tied to this particular property. When we click on the calculator, you're greeted with the calculator itself, of course, and your ability to then change the numbers here on the left side. When you change the numbers here on the left, the resulting information or calculations here on the right will dynamically change, which means that the moment you change it, these numbers will change as well. So let's just say the purchase price for this particular property wasn't $434,000, but rather $410,000. You see that the numbers dynamically changed here on the right to show you the exact calculations based on these numbers that I'm changing. Now you can further go down this list of changes you can make, including improvements you're going to make, number of units, financing that might be involved with this particular property. Let's say I wasn't putting 20% down, but rather I was putting 30% down. And that, of course, is going to change the analysis, the resulting analysis as well. And let's just say I was optimistic and I didn't think the rent was going to be $24.25, but rather it's going to be $3,500. And now it's going to go from what was red to go to black, right? So now it's showing me that's going to have a positive annual cash flow. So you can see it can be very helpful to understand as you're evaluating a certain property for a certain strategy in your investment portfolio, to have this be able to break down the analysis of what it's going to yield and what the resulting investment might look like. And of course, you can continue on with operating expenses, growth assumptions, etc. Now, if we scroll back up to the top, besides this overview, you're also going to see a statement, which is a year one operating statement for this property. Again, these are dynamic results based on the inputs that I put here on the left. We can move on to a pro forma, so it's going to give us a 3-year pro forma of this particular investment. Projections as well, over a 30-year return versus time. And lastly, cash on cash ROI versus a down payment percentage. Again, all dynamically changed based on the calculations that I'm inputting here on the left. Now, besides our rental ROI calculator, our second calculator is the fix and flip analyzer, which is right here. Now, I'll show you one other place before I show you the fix and flip analyzer, where you can also find it right here. So they are independent here, but once you're inside the calculator, you can toggle between the ROI calculator and the fix and flip analyzer. So in this one, it's going to work very similarly. You're going to have these color-coded results here, and you're going to be able to change the elements here on the left. In this case, let's just say I didn't buy it for $303,800. Let's say I was able to acquire it for $290,000. And again, the numbers change accordingly. And this, of course, being a fix and flip analyzer, it's going to ask you things like, what are your additional costs, inspections, appraisal, survey? So all of these numbers can be inputted to adjust these numbers to the right here, the final calculations dynamically, including holding costs, what my monthly costs are, down payments, my rate of interest if I have a loan on it, property taxes, insurance, etc., etc. So as you can see, an incredibly comprehensive calculator to allow you to be very, very specific with your analysis on your next investment. And then the other section here would be the rehab log, which keeps track of the expenses that are going into this particular property. So the big picture here, of course, is you're not digging through tabs anymore. You're not guessing, and you're not jumping potentially from spreadsheet to spreadsheet. You're analyzing, you're adjusting on the fly, and you're making better decisions more quickly.
You see, most people don't lose deals because they can't find them. They lose them because they can't move fast enough once they do. That's what this was built for. You search for the property, you identify whether it actually works, and you have everything you need to connect and move on it, all from the same page in real time. If you're already a PropStream user, log in, open a property, and try it today. And if you're not, check out our 7-day free trial and start there.